No matter what hobby or skill you're pursuing, the journey to mastery has some clear stages, and we're going to be walking you through them step by step. For anyone new here, I'm Daniel Stewart, founder and CEO of HobbySolver. We're a hobby e-learning platform. You can find the link to HobbySolver Launchpad in the description, or our website. You can learn a little bit about us and HobbySolver Launchpad there. Matt and I are the only two team members on HobbySolver, and we're trying to become a hobby learning platform for all. So today we're going to be diving into how to go from beginner to expert and the steps it takes to truly master a skill. We're going to be exploring the process of mastery from those first shaky steps as a beginner all the way to becoming an expert. We'll break down the stages of skill acquisition, practical tips for each stage, and the mental mindset required to keep improving. And yes, I'll try and use the whiteboard as much as possible to highlight those key steps, and maybe I'll even try to put some graphics up this time. We'll dive first into the stages of mastery: cognitive stage, associative stage, and the autonomous stage. The cognitive stage is where you're first starting out, figuring out the basics, and making plenty of mistakes. It's all about gaining an understanding of how things work. In the associative stage, you're getting the hang of things, you're making fewer mistakes, and recognizing patterns, and starting to really refine those techniques you've learned. And finally, the autonomous stage. The autonomous stage is where the skill becomes second nature. You've practiced enough that you can perform it with ease and adapt quickly to new challenges. A lot of us are probably autonomous drivers when we get in the car. Let's go to the whiteboard. So the 3 stages to mastery and some visual representations. The cognitive stage is when you're first starting out, you're a beginner, you're learning the basic theoretical concepts of the skill and hobby you're learning, and you're really just getting the hang of it. So I drew a little puzzle piece. You're figuring out the initial puzzle of just starting it. Associative. This is where the most progress is made. You're really getting things starting, you're getting things going, and you're just shooting towards the stars. Actually, that's bad because I drew it for the last one, but I just drew a little progress chart. You're increasing your skill, and you're learning new things, and everything's going good. There'll probably be some plateaus there, though. Autonomous, the final stage. Drew a little star because you've reached it. You've conquered pretty much everything, but there's always more to learn. But just feel proud of yourself if you ever reach this point. We have a visitor. So let's look at some practical tips for each stage, running through them in order. So when you're first in the cognitive stage, you don't want to be afraid to make mistakes. At this stage, mistakes are part of the process. Failure is part of the process. Focus on learning the fundamentals and understanding really just how things work in this new skill and new hobby. Try, for example, if you're learning accounting, focus less on memorizing formulas and understand, this is just an example, accounting really is more just educational for most people, unless it's your hobby, which is unique. So focus less on memorizing formulas and more on understanding how it actually works, how everything's contributing, how everything's working together. For the associative stage, this is where deliberate practice comes in. Focus on improving specific aspects of your skill, and repetition is key. Keep practicing, just keep putting those reps in. For the autonomous stage, at this level, it's all about refinement and consistency. Keep pushing yourself by learning new techniques, joining competitions potentially, or pushing yourself with new projects, new mini projects, new challenges, or even teaching others. In my opinion, that's one of the last stages of truly proving your skill in either a hobby or a certain career path, is being able to teach others. It shows that you have a certain level of understanding, and you can teach it. If you can teach it at an 8th grade level, That's how you know you understand it. Let's go to the whiteboard. So 3 tips for pushing towards whatever you're learning and getting past each stage. Mistakes and failing are learning. They're often the time when you learn the most, and they are essential. Deliberate practice. When you're practicing and when you're putting in those reps, you don't want to just put in the reps. You want to put in meaningful and deliberate reps. Last step, refine and challenge yourself. This is a good way to get past any plateaus, especially I put this for the autonomous stage where you've pretty much mastered it. You could be considered an expert, but to continue growing, you want to refine, challenge, and I'll add reflection. You want to reflect on every little piece of progress you make, every mistake, because you'll still be making mistakes in any of the stages. And still practice deliberately as well. I drew a little arm just to show that you just want to keep on pushing towards getting stronger, getting just better, the best you can. So what is the role of practice and patience when you're trying to become a master or trying to get a certain level in a skill? We'll first look at the 10,000 hour rule. You've probably heard of it, potentially. Hopefully you've heard of it. It's pretty cool. A lot of the big champions out there, like Michael Jordan, he's often associated with it. It suggests that it takes 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to become an expert. While time is important, the quality of practice matters even more. Patience is key. Mastery takes time, and it's normal to hit plateaus. Plateaus are probably the hardest part of learning anything new. You reach them, and it feels like you're at a standstill, and you can't move past it. Patience is crucial during those moments when progress feels really slow. So an example for the 10,000 hour rule, instead of just playing the same songs on a guitar for hours, focus on mastering new techniques or learning different genres even. So in the case of plateaus, use small victories and reward yourself for small victories to keep yourself motivated and celebrate each milestone that you achieve. So when you're pursuing mastery or just pursuing anything, there are 2 things you should strive to receive and strive towards in general, which is feedback and reflection. One of the best ways to improve quickly is by getting feedback from others, whether it's your friend, your family, or even someone you look up to that is competent in whatever you're trying to learn. Whether it could be a teacher, it could be a mentor, or like I said, it could just be a peer of yours. Join a community or group where you can share your progress and get advice from people who are at a level that you're striving for, at a level that you might not even achieve for a few years. Reflect on your progress. Taking time to reflect helps you see what's working and what needs improvement. One of the best ways to do so is keeping a reflection journal or simply just writing down your thoughts whenever you're feeling annoyed or angered, it's especially helpful when you hit those plateaus and you're wondering what's stopping you and what's holding you back. You can also just track down what you've learned and then write down what you want to work on next. Writing down what you've learned also helps you see the progress you've made. So whenever you're pursuing anything, feedback and reflection are so important, and they're a way to boost your progress and speed up your learning. So what I drew here, this is feedback, people talking to you, people giving you tips, ideas, equals growth. Reflection, if you have a reflection journal or just a progress journal of any sort, that also leads to progress, getting through plateaus, and just proof for you, proof for others, proof of anything you've gotten past, any sort of successes you've had as well. So mentioning the 10,000 hour rule, you probably realize that true mastery or becoming an expert in something takes quite a while. It's pretty much a lifelong process. So 2 things you have to keep in mind is that even when you think you've reached that expert level, there's always room to learn more, especially in very, very broad hobbies or skills, such as if you're learning coding, there's always something else. If you're learning woodworking, there's always something you don't know. Mastery is a continuous journey of growth, and discovery, also improvement. The tip I have for you today is just stay curious and keep expanding your knowledge. Keep striving towards learning more and figuring out how you can improve your skills. Attend workshops, take advanced courses, experiment with new styles, or even just network with other people that you believe are experts as well. Embrace the process. Remember, mastery isn't just about the end result. It's about enjoying the process of learning what you've learned and improving over time. Find joy in the small improvements you make and don't get too focused on perfection. So today we've talked about the stages of mastery, the importance of deliberate practice, and how feedback and reflection are key to improving. Mastery is a journey that takes time, patience, and consistency. Now it's your turn. Take what you've learned today and apply it towards whatever you're learning currently or whatever next hobby or skill you want to learn, and just apply it to your skill development. Start small, stay consistent, and enjoy the process. I don't think I'm a master in anything yet. I've just done a lot of research on the processes, and I'll be implementing them into my own hobbies and my own learning. I'm constantly learning, constantly trying to figure things out and see how far I can take myself. What skill are you currently mastering? If you have a skill, drop it in the comments below. Let me know. I'm really interested in learning about who you guys are, who's watching, and I'd love to hear your progress. It'll inspire me and motivate others as well. I'll see you next Wednesday for another educational video. You'll see Matt on this Friday. I think, not sure what we'll be doing yet, but I think it'll be around woodworking. It'll be related to that. But anyways, I'll see you later.